Hello and welcome to a session of Fit Essentials. My name is Shauna. I'll be taking you through class today. We're going to roll through a disclaimer and then we'll get started standing. You're about to engage in intense physical activity. Proceed with caution. Do not attempt to perform any movement or activity that exceed your current physical capabilities. Participants with injuries, high blood pressure, chronic health conditions, recent chest pain, or that have any other condition that may limit their ability to participate in this activity should consult their physician or healthcare provider before proceeding. All right, let's go ahead and get rolling. We're going to start by coming up to our feet. You're just going to place your feet about hip width apart, and we're going to start with some breathing to ground ourselves. So bring your hands in front of the chest, pull the chin in. Think about standing up nice and tall. If it doesn't feel good to reach up to overhead, just keep your hands here throughout. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And then we're just going to breathe in nice and deep, stretching up to overhead. And then as you exhale, relax the arms down to the side, open through the chest and shoulders. Very good. Twice more. Palms in front of the chest. Breathe in, reach up. Nice deep breath. And then exhale, let it all go. Any rushing around you've been doing, just bring yourself into presence. And one more time. Breathe in, reach. Fill the lungs with air and exhale, relax. Open through the chest and shoulders. Fantastic. Just make sure you have a little bit of give in those knees. Heels are planted. Let those arms be heavy at the side. And we're just going to move into some nice gentle rotations here. We call these our gates of heaven. So let those arms be heavy, kind of slap it against the body. And you want to get that swivel through the hips. So less through the shoulders, more through the hips. Your hips push forward. There you go. And then just be intentional about your breathing here. So breathe through it. Kind of exhale as the arms slap against the body. We're using this to get some just general blood flow going. And also you have fluid that runs through your spinal canal. So that's helping this fluid to increase its flow, help keep your spine healthy. Very good. It's about one more each arm. And then go ahead and relax. Walk those feet just a little bit wider. We're going to bring the arms out to the side, pull the shoulder blades back, and with a nice bend into your legs, we're going to hinge the hips. So what I mean by that is we're going to send the hips back, reach over to the opposite leg. Engage the glutes as you stand. Long spine, reaching towards the opposite leg, standing tall. You can just start about the level of your knee or whatever feels comfortable to you, and then just look to get a little bit farther each time. And Sharon, you want to keep that spine long. So try not to round, but hinge at the hips. So you're setting your hips back. You want to feel it in your hamstrings. Yep, a little bit more bend in those knees. Sending those hips long, maybe one more each side. That's better. Long spine, over, squeeze the glute as you stand. Last time here, over and up. Fantastic. Relax the arms down, bring the feet in just a little bit closer. Next, we're going to interlace the fingers. Stretch straight up to overhead, lifting up out of your torso. We're just going to get a nice gentle rotation. So just a little bit of bend in the knees, heels are planted, rotate to one side, back to center, and then to the opposite side. Breathe in as you come back to neutral, looking straight ahead. And then as you rotate, just nice gentle exhale. Breathe in, lift tall, and exhale as you rotate. One more each side. Over, straight up, and last time. Good job. Go to relax those arms down. Next, we're simply going to move into a side step with a nice arm swing here. Turning the palms forward as you open the shoulders. Squeeze the chest together. Sorry, opposite of that. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the chest. There you go. Just a couple times here, side to side. All right, fantastic. We're going to go back to that overhead position, this time for a side stretch. So straight up, or you could also call this like a torso side bend. So get a good grounding into your legs, and then we're simply going to bend to one side. Breathe in, back to center, and then exhale as you bend towards the opposite side. Straight up, exhale. Good job. Straight up and exhale, bending to the side. Fantastic. One more each side. This time you're gonna bend to the side and then bottom shoulder, rotate, just try to peer up towards the ceiling. One nice deep breath there. You'll probably feel it in the torso here, up. And then last time to the opposite side, bending to the side, downside shoulder, turning to the ceiling. Breathe up and shake it out. Fantastic. All right, from here, we're gonna make our way down to the floor, kind of prep the lower body, get a little bit more stretching in. So if you need an extra pillow or a pad, anything for your knees, we are gonna be doing a little bit of a lunge for some stretching for the hip flexors. Otherwise, let's go ahead and place the hands. We're gonna stretch out those forearms. So palms down, fingers towards you, and I'm just gonna gently lay back and then rotate side to side. And then we're gonna turn the fingers in so that they face one another. And from here, we're gonna pivot around. So rotating around. You have a bunch of little tiny bones that live in the area of your wrist. So we're just trying to get the forearms stretched out and get some movement there. When the forearms get stiff, it limits how well your wrist can move. Very good. If you're comfortable to kneel, just kind of come up to a kneeling position for a second. Rotate the wrist around. And you can even kind of shake them out. There we go. All right, fantastic. From here, whenever we support on our hands, you always want to make a nice big handprint. So starfish hands, I've heard them before. Place them underneath the shoulders and think about gripping your fingertips down. That's going to activate all the small muscles of the wrist and help, of your hand and help support the wrist. Go ahead and walk your knees in so that they're touching. And then just very gently here, we're going to do what we call a quadruped hip rock. So with the knees together, I'm very gently rocking the hips from side to side. Fairly common here, you might get a little adjustment or a little crack in the low back. But use your guidance and intuition as far as how far do you want to stretch that hip. And just take it side to side 2 to 3 times. Good job. When you finish that, from here, we're going to go toes come together. Big toes touch. Then divide your knees, reach your arms long in front of the body, and you're gonna drop the hips back, drop the head between the arms. And then just take some nice deep breaths here, breathing in the back of the spine, or thinking about breathing in the back of the rib cage. Once more, and exhale. Very good. Come on back to all fours, kind of center out the knees. Place the hand well underneath the shoulder, whichever side you want to start on. From here, other hand's going to go behind the head. Bring the elbow towards the opposite elbow, and then you're going to lift up out of that bottom shoulder, rotate and peer up towards the ceiling. Bringing it down, lift up, peer towards the ceiling. Good job. Anywhere between 6 and 10 here. Pause in that open position. You want to get the most rotation as possible there. And here we're just encouraging some rotation through the rib cage, help keep the low back happy, help keep the neck happy by maintaining the rotation of that mid back. That thoracic spine tends to get really stiff. So a couple more. Breathe in as you close. Exhale as you open. Again, following your elbow with your gaze, peering up towards the ceiling. Last one. Very good. Before we go to the other side, we're going to go into down dog in between. So wide handprint, place it underneath the shoulders, turn the toes under. You're going to drive your hips nice and high. And then as you push the hips up towards the ceiling, just gently pulse your head between the arms. Kind of rock forward onto your hands and then rock back. Hips drive high, opening through the mid back. After a couple of those, let's pedal out the heels. Get a nice stretch for the back of the calves. Dropping one heel towards the floor and then the other, just pedaling back and forth. All right, and then once you finish that calf stretch, we're going to come back down to all fours and we're going to get those rotations on the opposite side of the body. So place the hand well, hand behind the head, elbow to elbow, rotate, lift up, peer over that shoulder. 6 to 10 on this side. Breathe in to close, exhale as you open. Continue to lift up out of that support shoulder and peering over that shoulder, following your elbow with your eyes, gazing up towards the ceiling. Good job. Couple more. Fantastic. All right, from here, once you finish that, we're going to go ahead and swing over onto your back. We're going to stretch out the low back. All right. So pulling the shoulder blades together, flat on the floor, let the arms rest to the side. And we're just going to start by kind of pulling the legs in towards the chest, rocking side to side, double knee to chest. If everything's feeling good there, from here, we'll put the arms out at 90 degrees like scarecrow arms. And then you're going to bring both legs to one side, peer over the opposite shoulder. And again, use your midline. How far do you want to go into that twist? You decide what feels right for your body. Use the core, pull the legs up and across, and then take them to the opposite side. Again, following with your gaze, looking over the opposite shoulder. Breathe in as you pull the legs up and across. Exhale as you drop into that twist, turning the head the other way. Good job. 2 to 3 times each side. Just go off your own feel. Up and across. I think about pulling that low back into the floor as I bring the legs up and across. Very good. Once you finish that, we're going to go into some glute bridges. Start to get some activation in the back side of the body. So with the knees bent, feet flat on the ground, hands can rest at the side. We're just going to simply push the hips up and forward, pull the chin in towards your chest. Get a nice lengthening in the back of the neck. Hips go down, hips go up. We're going to go about 30 seconds here. So just at your own tempo, pausing in that open position for a couple counts. Chin pulls in, pushing tall. And as you push those hips forward, think about lengthening through the low back. So still think about keeping space and squeezing those glutes. Get those big muscles to fire. It's one of the biggest muscles in your body. You want to wake up all those muscle tissues. Good job. Let's go one more here. Up and hold. Down and relax. Very good. From here, we're going to roll onto our side. A little bit more glute and core activation with our side plank clamshells. So you're going to have the elbows stacked right underneath the shoulders. Bend the knees. So this is not like a modification. The exercise is done with the knees bent. And you're going to hold this top leg up throughout. Lifting up out of that shoulder. Lift the hips up straight towards the ceiling and then push them forward towards the camera. Back and down, assuming you're facing the screen. Straight up and push them forward. We're going to go 30 seconds here. Back and down. Just at your own tempo. So you kind of start to feel that bottom glute and hip start to fire. Activate some of your midline core strength as well. Very nice. Up and open, lifting. And let's go one more. And go ahead and relax. Swing it around. Same thing on the other side. So people tend to set the elbow wide here. Pull the elbow in, make sure it's straight underneath your shoulder, knees bent, legs stacked, top leg up, and whenever you're ready, straight up towards the ceiling first, and then just gently push the hips forward, firing the glute, back and down, drive it up, and push it forward, back and down. Good work. Breathing. Normal to feel a little bit awkward. If you feel silly, it's a good time just to smile, kind of laugh at yourself. It's always normal to feel awkward, especially if you're doing something new or if it's been a while. You know, not every day that you're just on your side, kind of looking like a starfish. Let's go one more, up and hold, and down and relax. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and swing it back to the other side. Give that shoulder a rest. We're going to stretch out the quads next. So grab the top foot, pull the heel towards the glutes. If you can't grab your foot, you can use a band, a rope, a scarf, anything to help get that foot. Good job. 20 seconds here. All right, good time to breathe here. Just gently driving the thigh back. Ideally, we want to be able to touch the heel to the glute, but you don't want to force it. And relax, swing it around. Same thing other side. Pull that elbow in, grabbing that top foot, pulling it straight back. All right, so our first circuit that we're warming up here today, some deadlift work. So we're going to do a little bit warm up, standing up, kind of making sure we're feeling good, touching our toes. But before we come to our feet, we're going to prep for our push-ups. So watch that top shoulder, pulling it back. Couple more seconds here on the quad stretch. 2, 1, and relax. Fantastic. All right, so if you'd like to do an elevated push-up, you can use the side of a couch or something, or if you want to warm up, if you don't have more than like 10 toe push-ups, at least do your warm-ups off your knees. We're going to go back to those starfish hands. Nice wide grip or wide placement of the fingers. Hands underneath the shoulders. And as you're lowering down, avoid winging those elbows wide. So we're going to go down to the floor, elbows in tight to the sides. As you come up, pushing straight away. And for the warm up here, we're going to do some rotations. You can come up to the toes from here, lifting up out of that bottom shoulder, pivot up towards the ceiling. I'm going to come back down to the knees, elbows pull in towards the side of the body. They don't need to be tight to the sides, but just about 30 degrees out from the torso. Coming up to the feet, lifting up out of that bottom shoulder, rotate on the other arm. At your own here, let's go between 2 to 3 more each side. Very good. Elbows in, midline strong. You want to watch the low back. Oftentimes, we'll tend to arch in that low back on a push-up. You got 1 more each side. Nice and strong. Up and rotate, peer into the ceiling. And relax. Fantastic. Once you finish that last push-up, if you feel good for it, go ahead and kind of walk the feet in towards the hand, inchworm your way up, and we'll kind of come up to our feet. Great time to grab a little bit of water if it's convenient. All righty. So now that we're up here, we're just going to spend about 2 minutes getting some blood flow in, and then we're going to go into that first session. So whenever you're ready, either some step jacks or some jump jacks. Good. Opening through the chest and shoulders. Very good. And then if you want to jump a little bit, or just stay there. 15 more seconds here. We're going to go into a march position next. Very good. All right, first half, we're going to go pause march. So standing tall, lifting up, opposite hand, opposite foot. Try to keep everything nice and level. Down and switch. It's going to go 2 each side with this pause. Just kind of exaggerating those positions, lifting up, keeping those hips level. Down and switch, everything smooth. Very good. And then going next to that march and punch. Just getting a little rotation in that upper body while you keep those hips square. Nice. And as you punch, try to keep your hands level to the shoulders. We don't want to punch down, kind of drops our posture. So head up, eyes up. Very good. One more time through. Step jacks or jump jacks. There you go. You want to add a little bit of jumping there. Just stay really light on the feet. And you want to be relaxed through your ankle. So we don't want to be high up on the toes, but feel like the heel kind of grazes down as you jump nice and light. Fantastic. And we'll go one more time to that march and punch. If you want to add a little bit of a skip, that works great as well. So march and punch. And if you want to add that skip, feel like it's like 1988 Running Man on MTV or something. I don't know. Breathe as you move here. Good job. 15 more seconds. Fantastic. Keeping it going. 2, 1, and relax. All right, a little bit more blood flow. Before we want to jump into those deadlifts, let's check our toe touch. So we're going to walk the feet in, toes pointing straight ahead. Stand tall, hands on the thighs. From here, chin to the chest. With a little bend of the knees, you're going to slide the hands down the legs. Rounding through the back intentionally here just for this warm-up stretch. And just see how far do you reach without forcing anything. When you get down to that bottom, take a nice deep breath into the back of the rib cage. Pay attention to where you are and then tuck those hips under. Make your way on up. Very good. Rock those shoulders back. Hand support on the low back. Set the feet a little wider. Again, bending into those knees. Fire the glutes. Just gently shift the hips forward, looking up towards the ceiling. Stay long in the spine, just holding that for like a breath or two, and then back to center. We're gonna repeat that toe touch once more, this time with a flat back. So standing tall, hands can go on the thighs still, but now instead of rounding, I'm gonna send my hips back, nice flat spine, and then sliding down from there. See where that bottom position is. If you're able to come to like mid shin or lower, then depending upon the size of your weight, you should be all right to take it all the way to the floor. Go ahead and come up when you're ready. But if it's like you're at your knees and you're like, oh, I feel really stiff there, then maybe don't go all the way down to the floor. All right, folks, so it's gonna be 1 minute of deadlifts. I'll let you know when we're at 30 and 45, so if you aren't quite ready for a full minute, then we'll take about 15 seconds to rotate, and we're gonna have a full minute of push-ups. Depending upon your strength, you know, most people aren't gonna be able to do a really solid push-up for a full minute, so please don't hesitate. Come up, shake it off, and go back in when you're ready. You don't have to stay down there in that plank for that whole time. You could also hold the plank position at the top. So we'll talk about those options as we go through. But let's go ahead and get ready for our deadlift. It's gonna be a sumo deadlift. So you're gonna walk your feet nice and wide, just outside the hips, tall chest, slight bend in those knees. We're gonna hinge over. Let's start with 2 arms on this first round. So chin in, and whenever you're ready, pull those shoulders back, squeeze the glutes, standing straight up. Very good. Push those knees out, bringing the weights down. You wanna keep it close to your center of gravity. So you're basically trying to put the weights down right between your ankles. Very good. Long spine, hinging over, chin in and stand. Nice. Breathing. Very good. And up and down. Nice and controlled. It's like you're picking up some laundry baskets off the ground, grandchildren, what have you. Very good. That's 40 seconds. I think I missed the 30. Over and down. That's 45. We're going to go another 15 seconds here. If you're like, hey, my back's starting to feel tired, then don't worry about working that full minute just yet. You can always build into it. Over and down. Maybe one more. Up and pause, and then control it down. Good job. Let's go ahead and rotate. Either down to the floor, or you can also always do your push-ups elevated here, like on the side of the couch. All right, placing those hands underneath the shoulders. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Nice and strong. And those rotations were just meant to be part of the warm-up. So now we're just doing a regular push-up, coming down, midline tight as you push up. Okay, and if you're somewhere where you're like, hey, knees feel too easy, toes feel too hard, then find that in between where you come down on your toes, lowering your chest to the floor. From there, belly tight, come to the knees, and push straight up nice and strong. Elbows in. That's 30 seconds, folks. Pushing up. Very good. You want to avoid those shoulders shooting forward as you lower. So as you're lowering down, pulling the shoulder blades back onto your rib cage, driving straight up. 45 seconds done. Very good. Watching the arch. Straight on. And 2, 1, transition. Good job. We're gonna take 30 seconds before we jump back into the deadlifts. This will be the start of the second round. So you wanna make any changes with weight? Grab a quick drink, and then we'll get started. And depending upon your weights, if you have a little bit of a lighter weight, you could always do a single arm deadlift where you stand up with one, place it down, and then switch arms throughout. All right, place those feet about hip width apart. Standing nice and tall. 2, 1, here we go. Chin in as you lower, so looking towards the floor, and then as you stand, looking straight ahead. Knees push out, spine stays flat. Fantastic. Good, great back position, Jean, that looks nice. And activate that upper body. Your upper body's keeping it close. That's 30 seconds, everybody. So I might use my arms and not let that weight swing out and away. Chin in, straight up, over and down. Smooth breathing. That's 50 seconds, just 10 seconds left. Squeezing the glutes as you stand, and 2, 1, and rotate. Very good. Push-ups. Remember, you can always elevate the upper body, take the stress off. And we're gonna go in 5, 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Elbows relatively into the sides. You can go down on the toes, up on the knees, whatever feels best for your body. Feels best as in doesn't mean that it's easy, but that you can hold good body position. You want to avoid this like peeling posture off the ground. That's when we tend to overarch the back. 30 seconds done. And we're going to grip those fingertips down, activate the arch of the hand. That's 45 seconds. If you get to where you're like, I can't hold good position, you can always hold the top of the plank as well, or sit up and shake it out at any time. And 2, 1, 30 seconds rest. Nice job. One more time through, back to those deadlifts. All right. "20 seconds now. Nice deep breaths. Standing tall, wide base stance. So at the top, we're looking straight ahead as we hinge over, even into position, chin in. 2, 1, and here we go. Shoulder blades back and down. Push through your legs as you stand. So midline strong, pushing the legs into the ground. Fantastic. Over and straight up. Nice. Breathe as you push into the floor. Fantastic. Eyes straight ahead at the top. Think about standing up out of the spine, not letting yourself arch into the low back. Sometimes people will kind of sway back here. Just straight up and down, shoulders over the hips. That's just over 30 seconds, everyone. Over and down. Stand and breathe. Wonderful. That's 45. Anytime you need to give it a rest, do it. A couple more if you're going that full minute. And 2, 1, and rotate. Great job. Final set of push-ups. Place those hands underneath the shoulders. 2, 1, and here we go. Midline tight. Avoiding those elbows from winging out wide, so pull them in, driving through. As you push up out of that push-up, think about pushing all the way through the shoulders at the top. Down, up, don't stop here, but push all the way through. Get those shoulder blades to come all the way out. Good job, that's 30 seconds. Keep pulling that belly button in, midline nice and tight as you push up. Woo. Anytime you need a break, shake it out, and then come back for a few more if you'd like. 15 seconds remaining. Nice and strong, pushing into the floor. Driving those hips up. And rest. Woo! All right, don't go anywhere. Stay down here for a second. We're gonna just do a couple stretches on the floor. So first, let's kind of revisit those forearms for a second. Palms down, fingers towards you. Just gently rock it back. Give those shoulders a little bit of a break for a moment. And then shake out those wrists. We're gonna get ready for some squatting next. So we're gonna open up the inner thigh. We call this a quadruped leg rock. So hands over the shoulders, kick one leg out to the side, And we're gonna rock the hips back towards your heel 3 to 5 times. Rock forward and rock back. You can take your inside arm, same side of the leg that's stretching, kind of reach it out. And then as you drop the hips back, you just get a little bit of a stretch into the torso as well. Couple more. So I breathe in as I rock forward, and then I exhale as I rock back, dropping the head towards the floor. Very good. Walk those knees in together in between sides. We'll rock the hips side to side again. Just gently stretching that low back once again. A couple times side to side, and then we'll do the same thing on the other leg. Kicking it straight back and just gently rocking the hips back towards the heel. 3 to 5 here. After you get a couple rocks in, you can take that upper body, add a little bit of the upper body into it, reaching long as you drop back. Breathing in to rock forward, exhale to drop back. 1 to 2 more. Fantastic. All right, make your way up. All right, as you make your way up, set the feet about hip width apart. And we're just gonna do a couple air squats here, or body squats as they call them. Reaching the arms out, sending those hips back, keeping those heels planted nice and tall, sinking back and standing tall. Fantastic. We're just gonna be doing 2 rounds here today, get a little bit of some squatting in, and it's gonna be paired with an upper body row. So you can go unweighted for your squats, or if you're gonna hold weight, we're gonna hold it in one side. So you're gonna be working against that rotational. When you hold weight on one side of your body will tend to rotate. So you wanna keep your midline strong. We'll be squatting with the weight on one side, and then we'll come into a bent over row, same arm, elbow high, okay? We're gonna go 40 seconds of each with about 10 seconds in between for 2 rounds. Any questions before we start? All right. If there are no questions, we're going to start our squats in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Sinking back, eyes up, breathing through. Nice and smooth here. Keep that depth, sinking strong. If you're holding weight, the non-working arm, I like to reach it up and out. That just helps encouraging your chest to stay tall, pushing the knees wide. Breathing nice and smooth. Very good. That's 30 seconds. We're gonna go another 10 here. Down and up. Maybe 1 more. And go ahead and rotate. So you can either support one hand on a surface as you row, or stand in like a lunge stance. And 3, 2, 1. Single arm row on the left. Reaching forward. Pull that elbow straight up towards the ceiling. As you pull that elbow up, pay attention to that shoulder blade. You're trying to pull it in towards your spine. Reach forward, up and in, pause in the top. Good job. Halfway through. Well done. 10 seconds here. Pause in that top position. Really strengthen that mid back. The rows are one of my favorite exercises. 2, 1, rest. Very good. Short rest. We're going to go back to the squats. If you're holding weight, this time in that right arm. So place those feet about hip width apart, just a slight toe out. 2, 1, and here we go. And don't rush if you're like, hey, I'm not quite ready yet. Just take your time. It's especially easy if you're on the recording, just hit pause. Eyes up as you sink back. Breathing. Good job. That's halfway, 20 seconds in. Very good. And just like we grip those fingers down with the hands, you want to grip the toes down. That's going to activate the arches of the feet. A couple more here. And 2, 1, rest and rotate. Fantastic. Single arm row on the right side. Nice long stance. 2, 1, and here we go. Elbow up and in, reaching forward. Very nice, crew. Making sure that back is nice and flat. And turn your gaze like you're looking down towards the non-working hand on the wrist or the ankle of that front foot. Just want to hold the head neutral. Halfway, that's 20 seconds. Pausing in that top position, nice high elbow. And then allow the shoulder blade to come forward in the bottom, reaching towards the floor, and then retract it back and in. Reach down, pulling up, and 2, 1, and rest. Good job. We're just gonna do one more set there. We're gonna take a little bit longer rest, 30 seconds. Grab a drink. If you wanna switch out your weights to a little bit heavier, gives you a little bit more time. Good job. 10 seconds till we start. We back to the squats. If you want to hold weight, we're going to hold it in the left arm. Set those feet. 2, 1. Here we go. Eyes looking straight ahead. Kind of find one spot to focus on while you're squatting. Something just above like your horizon line. Help keep those eyes up. Eyes are up. Chest is going to help to be up. Good job. That's halfway. And those of you holding the weight, as you sink down, your non-working arm reaches up, and also think about kind of pushing that elbow up on the side that you're supporting. So help and keep everything nice and tall. And rest. Woo. Very good. Single arm row, same side of the body. And 2, 1, here we go. Pull that elbow straight up towards the ceiling. No rotation on the row this week. Keeping the hips and shoulders square. Coordinate the breathing. So I'll exhale as I row. Inhale as I reach. Halfway through. Keep that shoulder down out of the ear. Fantastic. Up and pause in that top. Let's go about 2 more reps. And 2, 1, and rotate. Woo. Good job. Short rest. Squats if you're holding weight. Right arm. 2, 1. Here we go. Eyes up. Breathe. Fantastic. Knees pushing wide, heels are staying planted firmly. Fantastic. There's our halfway. I'm going to keep driving that elbow up on the side, holding the weight. 30 seconds in. And 2, 1, rotate. Single arm row on the right. Nice long stance. 2, 1, here we go. Imagine you have a string or a guideline coming down from the ceiling, pulling that elbow straight up in the air. Pull it nice and high. Again, shoulder down and out of the ears. Breathing. Good work. We're over halfway. Moving well. 10 seconds left. High elbow, pulling it in. Keep on pause in that top position. Squeeze that shoulder blade in. And 2, 1, relax. Woo! Nice work. All right, everybody. Grab a quick drink. We're going to stretch out the hips And then we'll move into our last circuit. All right. So let's come on down to the floor. You can either lie on your back, or I'm going to show this one seated. We're going to go figure 4, crossing the foot over the opposite thigh. Seated, you'll just walk that foot in, or lying down, you grab onto that left thigh and hug it in. Pull the shoulder back and just breathe here. You can gently rock the hips side to side as well. All right, our last circuit here. We're going to get ready for 45-second intervals for each exercise. We're going to be doing some reverse lunges. If you're not quite ready for that full lunge, you can do like a giant step where you just step back, go into like a partial lunge. Let's go ahead and switch legs on that figure 4. From the lunges, we're going to go shoulder to overhead. So taking a weight up to the shoulder, pushing straight up to overhead. You can do a strict press, or you can add a little dip and drive on the lower body. And then we're going to come back to the floor for some sit-ups. I don't do sit-ups very often here. I don't like the crunches per se, but we're going to talk about the sit-up. All right, go ahead and relax that down. As I'm talking about the sit-up, if you'd like to lay back and stretch out the low back a little bit, you can do that 2-knee twist again that we did earlier. For the sit-up, you can either go bent knees, that's what I recommend to start with, or if some people want to go straight legs, you can. It'll be a little bit harder. For the sit-up, when you lie down, you want to relax your head back, and I also like that arms to come up to overhead. Your arms attach into your core. So then as we go to sit up, we'll drive the arms, and you want to pull yourself up and forward. At the top, instead of stopping here, this like crouched posture, I want you to sit all the way up so you can like touch your feet to your, or hands to your feet if you have that flexibility, and sitting up out of your sit bone so that you lengthen your spine in the top instead of, again, staying in this hunched position. So then I'd roll back, head touches the ground, arms overhead, drive up. If you'd like to touch the feet at the top, you can. So tall posture. I met a gentleman once, he was in his early 70s, and he had won multiple sit-up championship titles for how many reps he could do, but he did like this crunch version where he was always crunched, and that's literally like how his posture was. His body was really pulled forward. So I don't really love that because we already have so much of our life that's here. So we want to train ourselves to sit up and to sit tall, okay? From there, you can either rest or you're going to join us up on your feet. You either have a minute rest or you can hold some weight if you'd like. Active rest would be a weighted march. And we're going to be doing 3 rounds today. 45 seconds, again, lunging, shoulder to overhead, sit-ups, and the march. On that shoulder to overhead, you can hold 1 weight or 2 weights up at the shoulders, pushing straight up to overhead. If it starts to get a little bit tough to lock it out, you can dip and drive, give a little bit of a boost with the lower body. All right. Let me know if there's any questions. Otherwise, we're going to start here in about 30 seconds. Lunges will be first. And on those lunges, you want to step back far enough that this front shin stays vertical, heel stays pushing down, and then drive into that front heel to pull up and forward. All right, everybody, 10 seconds. I'm going to start unweighted on the lunges. If you want to add weight, you can, but I recommend unweighted to start. Eyes looking straight ahead. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're going to alternate which leg steps back. Back and down, up and forward. Avoid that front knee shooting forward. Think back knee comes straight down towards the floor. Front shin stays vertical. Very good. That's nice. Eyes straight ahead. Yep. Good work, ladies. Chest tall. That's 30 seconds. Continuing to alternate. And think about using that front heel to propel yourself up and forward. Grip the toes down, but drive that heel down. And rest and rotate. Great job. Shoulder to overhead next. You can also do this with 1 weight, holding the weight on each side. Toes pointing straight ahead, standing nice and tall. 2, 1, here we go. So I'm going to start with that strict press, squeezing the glutes, pushing straight up to overhead. If it gets tough before time ends, now I'm going to start to add my legs into it. Breathe as you extend those shoulders nice and high. And then also pay attention to what's happening at your midline. So as you push up, you don't want to arch. So think ribs down, Squeeze your belly, squeeze your glutes. All right, I've got 15 seconds left. I'm just gonna start to add a little dip and drive to overhead. So just give a little extra boost. Keep that head neutral, looking straight on. Breathe. And rest and rotate. Good job. Sit-ups are next. Making your way down. So you can go either knees bent with the feet flat, or you can turn the bottoms of the foot towards one another, kind of like frog legs. Arms overhead whenever you're ready. Here we go. Sit up, sit tall. Allow the head to touch the ground in the bottom. Use those arms. It's not cheating. You're just using your body as it's designed. I also find that using those arms helps take the strain off the neck. I know I've done workouts before with traditional sit-ups, and I've been really sore in my neck afterwards. Breathe, sitting tall. That's 30 seconds. And you want to feel those sit bones. So those bones at the bottom of your bum as you sit tall, make sure they're pushing into the ground. Get those guys to be straight underneath you. 2, 1, and rotate. Very good. Weighted march or the option to rest. You can hold one weight or 2 weights. You can hold them at your sides, or I'm going to hold it right up underneath my chin. And whenever you're ready, marching around your space. And this is our last exercise before we go back to those lunges. So based upon your experience with the lunge, you may want to add a little extra rest here. 30 seconds instead of 15, what have you. I'll let you know when we get to that 30. Especially if you're going to add weight to your lunges. And there's 30 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and shake it out. A little bit longer rest, grab a quick drink. That's end of set 1. We're going to do that twice more, everybody. Woo! All right, if you are going to add weight to your lunges, please just ensure that you're really confident on your positioning of your legs. Your knees are safe. All right, round 2. Ready and begin. Controlling that back knee, pushing through that front heel, or actually I like to think about pulling through it. So I pull that front heel into the ground. Eyes up, chest up. Good work. Nice and smooth. Good job, Sharon. That's the way. You got it, Jean? That's 30 seconds, folks. Back and down. Just have like a flashback of like Looney Tunes cartoons. That's all, folks. All right, good focus. It'll be 1 more, 2, 1, and rotate. Shoulder to overhead is next. If you're holding weight, just give it a quick shake out. Going in 5, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Toes pointing straight ahead. Midline strong. Elevating through those shoulders. So push up. Overhead presses. This is the only time I'll tell you. Elevate your shoulders towards your ears. Breathe as you push. Good job. Think about elbows kind of coming forward as you come down instead of winging out. That's 30 seconds. You can stay with this strict press, or if you need a little lift, just dip and drive into the legs. Dip, heels down, chest tall. And 2, 1, and rotate. Sit-ups. Woo. Nice work. Either feet flat or feet in. Head touches the ground, arms overhead. Whenever you're ready, sit tall. As you roll back, pull the belly button in. Try to get that low back to touch the ground. Try not to leave that low back arched. Breathing And I'll also see this a lot at the top, where heads shoot forward. So chin in, straight up and down. When we work out, we're training our body. If you're not training for a specific event, you're training for life. So how do you want your posture to be? Use exercise to reinforce that. Good job. Maybe one more, 2, 1, transition. Very good. You can take a minute off if you want to prep for those lunges or getting ready for that march. Standing tall, and here we go. Picking the knees up, picking the feet up. Pull those shoulders back. If you're holding weights down at the sides here, instead of having your palms back behind you, which is going to tend to round the shoulders, shoulders back, think about having your palms facing slightly forward. Doesn't apply if you're holding up at the shoulders, but you know, that's 30 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and have a rest. I'll let you know when we're at 45 for anybody working that full amount. Last round coming up. So 20 seconds till we're back into those lunges. Nice job. And this is going to be our final time through. If you're holding weight for your lunges, go ahead and grab it. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Back and down. Being aware, lightly touching that back knee. You don't want to slam your knee down. Front shin vertical. Good. Propel yourself up and forward. Nice job. Continue to breathe. Looking straight ahead. That's 30 seconds in. Awesome job, almost there. And 2, 1, rest and rotate. Woo! Shoulder to overhead next. Alrighty. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Having your feet straight underneath your hips. Hold that midline strong so you don't arch the back. Looking straight ahead. Breathe. So I like to exhale as I push tall. Great work. Elbows come forward. Less than 15 seconds if you need to add a little dip to it. Continue to breathe. And rest and rotate. Good job. Final set of sit-ups. All right, go ahead and lay it flat. Arms up to overhead. And whenever you're ready, sit tall. Breathe. Nice job. Pull that belly button in as you sit tall. Push the low back into the floor. And then how tall can you sit at the top? Pulling that chin in, lifting straight up out of your sit bones. Nice work. That's 30 seconds, 15 to go. And this is our last round through. So we'll have everybody finish with that march. Very good. Few more. Posture looks great there. Nice job. And rotate. Awesome. Let's get ready for that final march. Shoulders back and down or elbows up. Here we go. 45 seconds. We're going to finish it out. Then we'll get a little cool down stretch in. Moving through your space. Remember, palms forward if the weights are down at your side. Okay, to lift up out of your hips, so don't let those weights pull you down, staying tall. 20 seconds left. Kind of exaggerating that knee lift, right? Picking that foot up, nice big steps. Woo, almost there, less than 10 seconds. Fantastic. 2, 1, and there we go. All done. Whew. All right, set your weights down, give yourself a round of applause. Let's grab a quick drink. Fantastic. And then once you grab a quick drink, we're just gonna kind of swivel ourselves side to side. Let the arms kind of be heavy. You can also bring them up to about shoulder height. Just get some nice rotations here through your torso. And then we'll let the arms be heavy and kind of swing back and forth. So I'm leaning forward just a little bit, back and forth. Peer up to the hand that's reaching to overhead. A couple more each side. Good job. Stand tall. We're going to go quad stretch next. So if you can, grab that one foot, pull the heel towards the glute, and watch that shoulder you're stretching with that side. Pull that shoulder back as well. Very nice. 10 more seconds. Hang in there. 2, 1, and release. Good job. Same thing other side. Lifting up through that core. Keep those hips level. Grab that foot best you can. Well done. 10 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release. Upper body next. If you have a doorway or a wall, elbow at 90 degrees. We're going to place it on the wall. Inside leg steps forward. Open up that chest, especially after the overhead work. And then rotate your body away. There we go. Nice deep breaths. Once you start to open that chest, you can take that outside arm, circle it through, reaching up and around 2 to 3 times here. Very good. Before we switch sides, we're going to go tricep side bend. So whichever side that you were just stretching on, step that leg back this time. Reach straight up with that arm, bend the elbow, reach up, grab that elbow, and now lengthen through your body. And now we're going to bend to that side of the lead leg. Breathe in to lengthen. Exhale as you bend to the side. 1 to 2 more. Very good. And then now we'll go same thing on the other side. Elbow at 90 degrees. Place it against the wall or doorway. Inside leg steps forward. Lean into it and then turn that torso away. 20 seconds here. Nice deep breaths. And if you'd like to circle that outer arm 2 to 3 times. Very good. And then we'll come off the wall and tricep side bend on that side. So the side you're stretching, now that leg's going to be the trail leg. Reach it straight up, bend the elbow, watch your posture here. So stay tall and you kind of push that back hip forward as you bend to the side. Breathe in and exhale. Fantastic. And then last one, folks, we're just going to bring it down to the floor to finish. We're going to finish with a child's pose. So bring the toes into touch, walk your knees nice and wide, reach the arms out in front of your body, and then drop your hips back, drop the head down between the arms. And then just focus on your breath. Nice deep breaths here. Focusing the breath into the back of the rib cage, and then as you exhale, just let your chest drop a little bit closer to the floor. All right, fantastic. Anything else your body's asking for? Otherwise, thanks so much for being here today. Stay healthy, stay hydrated.